Hello students. Today in this class of cost accounting, I will be taking the chapter number 4 of your book, Labor Cost Control. Now what is labor cost control? What is labor? Labor is the second most important element of cost. In fact, time is the essence of cost of labor. Labor is hired by the hour, day, week or month or by unit of time. Now what is first of all we will be discussing what is direct labor and what is indirect labor. uh, Direct labor cost is the cost for employees efforts and skills used directly for a product or saleable service, whereas indirect labor is the wages paid to those workers who are not directly engaged in converting raw material into finished products. In fact, there are many factors which influence the concept of direct and indirect labor. In different circumstances, the same work can be classified as direct or indirect. For example, accountant's role generally considered as indirect labor, but in private practice or in consultancy, it becomes direct labor. Similarly, the work of a cleaner in a contract cleaning company is direct labor, whereas his work in a factory is considered as an indirect labor. Now, how are we going to organize labor cost control? Since the labor cost is a significant portion in the total cost of production, there is need for effective control over labor and labor related cost. Different departments are there in the organization to control the labor cost. First is personnel department, second is engineering department, third is timekeeping department, fourth is payroll department, and fifth is cost accounts department. Personnel department is mainly concerned with the way to provide an efficient labor force, that is for the proper selection and training of workers and employees and placing them to jobs for which they are best suited. Engineering department maintains control over working conditions and production methods of each job, department or process. And then we come to the most important department, that is timekeeping department. It is an important department in any organization for control over labor cost. The first step in accounting for labor cost is to secure an accurate record of the time purchased from each employee. The timekeeping task consists of obtaining an accurate record of each worker's time and out of the factory during regular working hours and overtime during irregular working periods. The reporting time is also needed. Now we will be discussing the methods of timekeeping. There are mainly three methods generally used for recording attendance of workers. First is manual attendance register. It is a direct and simple method and requires no explanation. In this method, each employee signs into the attendance register on arrival and departure, noting his timings in and out. The disadvantage of this method is the holdups that occur when each worker has to sign his name in turn and the amount of clerical work uh, involved in the posting of entries to individual attendance records. The second method is disk method or token method. In this method, every worker is allotted a disk or a token bearing his identification number. A board is kept at the gate with pegs on it. These boards are maintained separately for each department and they are distributed over different sections of the factory so that workers could remove their disk from the board without any delay or overcrowding. As the worker arrives, he removes his token from the board and puts it in a box kept nearby or hangs it on another board which is specially kept for this purpose. After the fixed time, the box or the second board is removed. Thus, under this method, the persons coming late have to hand over their tokens or disc personally before the officer in charge so that exact time of their arrival can be noted and explanation may be sought. So the absentees are identified by the missing tokens. The same procedure is followed in the evening at the time of departure. This method is also disadvantageous because of a worker may try to get his absentee friends marked present by dropping their disc or tokens in the box or hanging them on the board. Now we will be discussing third method, that is clock card method. Again uh, the the methods that we discussed earlier are manual methods. Now we will be discussing the mechanical time recording clocks that are used to mark the attendance of the worker. In this system, record of attendance is maintained on the uh, clock card on which the employee punches the time at which he comes in and leaves the factory. Each week, a new card is prepared for each employee on the payroll. At the end of the week, the cards are collected and transferred to the payroll department for calculations of the gross earnings. In these clocks, a provision is made for change of color in marking so that all attendance before the scheduled time are marked in blue ink and all late attendance are marked in red ink. In the same way, early leavings and overtime work are also marked in red ink. At the end of the week, based upon the time marked on the clock card, the wages are worked out and they entered in the relevant portion. Now, certain other methods are also there, like biometric machines, face reading machines are also there, which mark the attendance of the workers. Now, how do we do the work of time booking? Time booking is done by following methods like daily time sheet, or we can say job ticket is there. Daily time sheet is a daily record of the work done by a worker, showing the jobs on which he worked and the hours spent against each. Since time is recorded on a daily basis, accuracy is built up on the time sheets, and daily times are used with advantages in small organizations. There is also job ticket. It is a document giving the full details of the specific operations to be carried out by the worker against the job. These tickets are given to all workers where time for commencing the job is recorded as well as the time when the job has been completed. On completion of the job, the necessary entries are made. Then on the basis of job tickets and daily wage sheet, daily these job daily time sheets. The payroll departments makes the from clock cards, from time tickets. The payroll they record the wages earned by the each worker on specific wage period. The deductions made therefore and the net wages payable to them. Then there is the last department, that is the cost accounting department. It collects and analyzes all costs relating to labor. It is responsible for the accumulation and classification of all cost data, of which labor costs are one of the most important elements. But in some organizations, this cost accounting department is highly centralized and may not direct under control of timekeeping or payroll department. The timekeeping department sends copies of daily time tickets to the cost department where they are costed and checked as to total time in the factory as well as in the labor distribution. So for the purpose of collection and analysis of all costs relating to labor, the cost accounting department make use of clock cards, job cards, daily or timely week sheets and payroll sheets. So that's all for today. Thank you.